What is going on, guys? In a lighter note, am I muted? No, I'm not muted. Awesome. So in a lighter note of the past couple of days with riddled with salty players and anger, today we take a look at a T55 gameplay I had, which highlights flanking in its purest form. So in this game, I believe I was playing with Julik, Elim, and that was it. I think that was it. So what happened was, we're on Mozdok. It's on the domination version of Mozdok, or one of them at least. Elim's in his T10, I'm in a T55, and Julik is in his T55. Elim and I decided to push up. We get into this little defilade, and we're kind of trapped. There's a Leopard and some other tanks up ahead of us, and we can't really push. So what I said was, hey, let's try to flank them using the river. Terrible idea, but it worked. The river has mud, and if you don't know how bad mud affects you, take a look at my speed here. Basically mouse level speeds from the T55 because we're driving in the riverbed. It's absolutely terrible. That being said, not everybody would expect it. Not everybody would expect a flank like this. So these guys, I can only presume, still thought that we were going to keep peeking that ridge, and plus they're getting pinned down by Julik, so they have better things to worry about, so to speak. What they didn't expect was a T10 and a T55A flanking around them through the only pass that is impassable. I guess this is kind of like, wasn't there a thing with the Maginot Line where they built it and the Germans just went through the forest? It's kind of like that. So they're on these hilltops and they're in a safe space, so to speak, quote unquote. But we use the river, which is hiding our silhouettes and flanking them completely. Now, I think there's a tank up here to our right, but he gets taken out before he can spot us, which is fantastic. And we kind of just push up and deal some damage. So there's a Jagdpanther coming across the field here. So we're going to move up to engage the Jagdpanther. I think Julik hits him, and he's the guy who initially hits him and makes the Jagdpanther stop. And I come over the hill and steal the kill like a good G-Squad teammate should. That's just how it works. It's okay if it's a squad mate, I think, right? It's with the rules. And then we're going to continue our flank down the side. Now, this match is one of those matches where it really highlights how good flanking is and how important it is, even in top-tier gameplay. You can have the best gun, you can have the best armor, you can be in the fastest tank, but if you don't use any of that to your advantage, what's the point? So here we're using our incredible terrain resistance. T62 would have been way better at this, by the way, because of the wider tracks and longer profile. It gets better ground resistance, so it moves faster. That's actually the reason why the T62 is faster than the T55, even though they have the same engine and the T55 is lighter. Interesting, I know. But neither here nor there. Flanking is a great thing to do. It's something that you guys should practice from an early stage as a War Thunder infant, all the way up to a full-fledged veteran that doesn't take shit from nobody and calls out all the German players. You should still flank, because you put rounds in the side of enemy tanks, there's less room for error. You have less armor to go through, all the beggar profile to hit. You hit ammo, and it's bang bang. So you'll also notice I switched to the APHE rounds. Now I'm in a top-tier tank. APHE is not a common thing at this tier, only in Russia, really. And the reason I'm using it is because it's actually the best round on this tank. It will one-shot every vehicle from the side, which is fantastic. So I'm using the APHE, one-shotting every vehicle pretty much, except for that Kugel, but Kugelbliets will be Kugelbliets. And just running through the enemy lines from behind them, completely dominating them. Now, I like the AP rounds, but I use 3 different rounds on this tank. You can see I have a set of each. The Heat FS is for tanks that I just can't pen from the front, that I will always have trouble with. I don't know, if I run into... I don't even know why I carry Heat FS, to be honest, because it's marginal. It does good damage, and it pens a lot, but you don't really need it when you have the APFSDS, and if I'm not going to use the APFSDS for any situation, I'm most likely going to use the APHE anyway. So I don't actually know why I carry Heat FS. I don't think I've ever used it in this tank, but I primarily use the AP and the APFSDS. The reason why I like the AP is because it has super high velocity, it's super accurate, it's super easy to shoot on the move and whatnot. So I love just rolling up behind people and hitting them with it, or rolling in front of people and hitting them with it. You don't have to judge for aim that much. I mean, like distance, you don't have to aim super high or anything like that. You can generally hit your snapshots, and it has enough pen to generally go through anywhere you hit on the tank. You know, you run into an M60, you'll pen pretty much anywhere. You run into a Leopard, you'll pen pretty much anywhere. The only issue is when you pen, you have to just make sure you're generally aiming where the gunner is, just so the enemy doesn't have a chance to shoot back at you. Now you'll see we're pretty much done with the flank here. Most of the damage is done, and we're moving around to cap the enemy spawn. Some of you may not agree with this tactic of just face-hugging the enemy spawn like we have, but it's just War Thunder. It's how it works. I think that in this stage of the game, you've pretty much lost, and we're here to stay. The enemy has spawn protection and stuff, so obviously they could spawn up and kill us, and I think that one enemy does spawn up and kill us, but this is just poor map design. In terms of protecting the spawn in reality, because there's a big open space where everybody spawns in, and then there's hills around it. So if the enemy loses grips at the hills that are around the spawn, they get spawn camped like a mofo, and that's what happened. I saw that there were AA in the spawn, and I decided to just push in and take the rest of the spawn so we could win this game even faster. And it's funny because they had cap authority in the beginning. You'll notice the ticket bleed right now. We're still losing by tickets, but we are completely swarming their spawn right now, and there is no way that they're going to get back. They spawn up a lot of MBTs at the end and give a little bit of a fight, but it wasn't enough to make a difference. And that's just a big lesson on flanking, guys. Even in top tiers, from bottom tier all the way to top, flanking is the key. And I'm not going to say it was all me. Anybody could have done that flank. And if I wasn't there, I'm sure Lim would have mopped up just as many guys as I did. But that flank pretty much sealed the deal on that side, killing enough people to give us the win, you know, the push into the enemy spawn. And the rest of the team decided to push up with us, and I'm good on them. I'm glad they pushed up with us and got caps. So that's basically how to win a game super fast in the T55A. Well, any tank for that matter. Just an epic flank. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a like. If you didn't, don't dislike me. I'll cry. I'm a bitch. I'm kidding. I'll see you guys in the next one. Comment down below with what was your best flank. What was the best flank route you've ever ran? And what tank was it in? Was it in an M18? It was probably in an M18. I'm just going to guess that like 65% of you guys are like, Slick, I was playing the M18 on Kuban. I climbed that hill and I killed 95% of the enemies from their spawn. I'm going to be like, thank you, Jimmy. I really am glad that they changed Kuban because people like you give me a heart attack. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, peace.
Bitter pill keep throwing you back. Nothing but empty sugar, no high, just crash. Tongue got me numb, I lose the words to tell myself how much you hurt. But bitter pill keep throwing you back.